Hello.
Hello.
Happy Friday, everybody. How's it going? We're back with another game development stream. It was good, Dark Passenger. Yeah, we went to... So one of our daughters lives up in Tallahassee, Florida. And so she was down here, and we had dinner for her.
Yeah.
With her. And so, yeah, we went out to a Mexican restaurant. Hey, Merrick.
They made guacamole at tableside.
And it was very good. There was also a guy singing songs. It was very loud. And he had it was like a Yeti speaker and a microphone.
Yeah, but I think it was the Yeti, like the cooler people.
Oh, it wasn't like the same.
Like the
microphone.
Blue is the name of these.
Yeah, but I thought it was Yeti brand or something like that.
No, these are Blue branded.
Okay.
It's the Yeti Blue,
Yeti
not
microphone.
the Blue Yeti.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Anyway, it was good.
I got that reversed.
And it was very loud.
It was exceedingly loud.
It's just very loud.
In another language.
Another language, yeah.
And in fact, the table behind us, he sang happy birthday to those people and brought them like sopapillas or were they churros with a candle?
And tequila shots.
Well, they had a churro with a candle in it.
Oh, did they? I didn't see the churro.
Yeah. They got Jay and our daughter got to laugh at me as I was horrified by
Neil's always made it very clear that if we ever go out to a restaurant, I'm never going to have anybody sing happy birthday to him ever. He will walk away. He will walk out. He will be out of... I'll never see him ever again.
Yeah, I said I would never talk to you again.
Yeah. So it's been very clear from, for the last however many years.
I didn't want there to be any ambiguity.
Yeah, you were very clear.
I didn't want you to do it and think it's a joke. To me, it's not a joke. It's a deal breaker.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I hope everyone had a good week and are ready for the weekend. We're going to continue working on Fry's Quest. I converted our backlog here to Notion. So Notion is kind of a new system I've been working on or working with this past week. And so we now have our kind of backlog here in Notion. And, it looks exactly the same. It's because I made it look very similar. You'll see, though, I have little icons for it's this class system, and it has a little wizard. But yeah, we're going to be using this to track kind of what we need to do. And today, as you can see, it says in our in progress column, we're going to be doing the defense buff, which I think we started. Maybe. I don't think we did. I don't think we did anything. Let me see what's checked out in our source control system real quick. Oh, yeah, you're right. You probably can't see that at all, right? Because it's really tiny. Here, let me click on this again. See the little wizard right there? If I click on class system, I think it'll go to the class system. Yeah, there's the wizard. So. Hey, Bergoli. What's so are you trying to scare us? Is that what you're doing? Exactly. Okay, wait. I was gonna look at our source control to see if we actually did anything on the defense system. I don't think we did, actually. I think we just kind of looked it up. Yeah, nothing's checked out. So we have not done anything. So we have to add the buff. We have to add the spells. And I wrote in here what it does. A decrease of 10 to 40% damage from manage. 40% damage from manage. What does that mean? From mage, maybe? To an ally or split across the whole party. Lasts until the end of battle. Okay, so you know what we also need to add here besides VFX is add feedback. We'll add that in there too. I'm doing well. How are you doing? And so yeah, if it's your first time here, this is all done in Unity. This is what Unity looks like. Let me go to the scene. This is usually the best way to look at it. This is what our scene looks like. Our players are this rectangle here is basically the screen, and the players are off screen, and then the monsters are also off screen, but they're not loaded, and and there's debug text that you never see because it's hidden behind my camera, but I can see it. That's why it's special. And then here's all the code. And so the first thing we need to do is, well, you know what? Let's actually go back to that Notion thing real quick. I think actually the best thing to do first before we add the buff is actually add the spells. That should be the first thing we do. And so if you remember, the spells are a text file that we edit. So let me get that out. Assets, data, spells. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to open it up.
Chrome saved my bookmarks when I lost my computer.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on which browser you use, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost access to your account. Your computer and apps. Yeah. Well, that sucks if you lost code. Yeah. Yeah. I always I use this the system I use Perforce. A lot of people use Get. I use Perforce. So I would only lose kind of what I hadn't checked in yet. So okay, so here's this is the spells list, and then we have on here right here's our master list of all the ones we're gonna do. So this is a cleric spell. Yeah, and we called it shell. So we're going to put shell in, and that's all the decrease damage from, see, it says from manage to an ally. What does that mean? I must have copied it from there. Updated Windows. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly there's like two people that have been blamed for, and they both Microsoft and another company. They're both denying it, of course, but there's been an uptick in that.
So this is a defensive spell, and the cost is 10. The cast time is 5. And we're going to call it the defense. And we'll call those the same. And then between 10 and 40. And that'll be a percentage that we'll use. All right, so let's save this. And let's close it, because you got to close that file. It can't read it while it's open. So we have to close it. All right, so we've added the spell. Now let's go add the buff. So we have to add the buff here in code. That's in the spell manager. And you can see we have all these different types of buffs already. So we just got to add a new type. So and we're going to call this spell buff defense. Yeah. spelled with an S, like real English-speaking people would actually spell it. No C's here in defense. Okay, alright, so then see where it says load spell data? That's actually what's going to read that text file that we just edited to did. Right here, remember how we put the word defense in there? This is where it reads that word defense. Case defense. That. And then we say spell data dot buff type. Spell buff type. Defense. That. And we put a break. Defense for outside, the others for blocking coming damage. Well, yes, there you go. Defense. Defense. Agreed. Oops. This is basically taking the text file and turning it into actual data. And this is just so if we wanted to add a new spell down the road, would be really easy to do that. That's why we do it that way. Make it all text. Yeah. Yeah, I guess when we say our dictionary, we should say US English and it does it the way we would normally do it versus British English. Okay. So by default it would be working. But we haven't added everything at this point. Yeah, because the next thing would be the VFX. Add feedback. Okay. So remember when the defense is cast, we want it to do 10 to 40%, right? And so right here in cast spell, cast buff spell. Actually, we want to do it here first. So cast buff spell. We're going to spell buff type defense. Now the buff we want to do is defense. And then here we want to say, basically we want to say the exact same thing as this, actually. Which what that's doing is, so you remember there were, see how it says data 1 and data 2? If we were to, let's see, I can't open the text file again, but we can look right here. It's basically between 10 and 40. And so what this is going to do is it's going to get us a random number between 10 and 40. Actually, you know what? We don't want it to do that. Actually, here's what we want to do. Is, so see how it says it goes out here and it actually gets us a per player damage minimum and a per player damage max. That's actually what we want to use, not data 1 and data 2. Actually, what we want to do is the same as this. We want to say per player minimum, per player maximum. Because that's gonna, like, let's say it gets cast on 5 or 2 players, it's gonna take that 10 to 40 and divide it by 2. So now it's gonna be 5 to 20, right? It could be divided 8 ways as well. So it's gonna do that. I see something we forgot. Break. And then it's going to call this right here, add buff. Oh, we must have already made these. That's why. Okay. So it's going to go into add buff. Now, add buff is in the character, right? So let's hit save. Uh-oh. Why did it do that? Like it didn't check it out. Why didn't it check it out? That's weird. Hold on just a second. All right, I'm going to check it out real quick by hand. Where is this? It's in scripts. Do I have a scripts? Let me look at the path of this real quick. Assets. Oh, it's just in assets. Oh, man. You'll notice there's a little lock next to Spell Manager. I don't know if you can see that because it's really tiny. All right, so now I've checked it out and I'm going to hit save. But I'm going to close this real quick and reopen it. Yeah. Good digital, yeah. Yeah. The card draw D&D style game before. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, everything's kind of constrained here because it has to interface with Twitch, right? And it has to kind of play itself because otherwise there's the delay, right? You can't really have any real-time stuff because of the delay. I am planning on working on other stuff besides Friend's Quest. I just want to get all of this part done before we work on anything else. And then I may work on games that won't be on Twitch that, you know, we'll do some real-time stuff for. Of course, you won't be able to help me test it this way, but at least not yet. Unless I put some sort of early access up for it. Distribute builds somehow. Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, let me open the battle manager up. Opening up this. Hopefully it will. Yes, this is what I wanted it to do. Okay. Okay, it looked like it connected that time. So. Yeah, you have to design the game so that it works with the delay. That's been the challenge. And, you know, all the interface. It's a challenge and it's not so bad. I mean, it's a challenge and it's constraining, which is good in that way. All right, so the code's going to come through here. We're going to go to add buff. Now, the add buff is in character. And so this is where kind of all the character stuff is. And remember, monster and player are all inherited from character. So as long as we're doing code in character, it will apply to both monsters and characters. So later, when we add the ability for monsters to cast spells on themselves, it'll work. So okay, so it's going to come in here, add buff. And then here's where it's going to do something. If we do nothing here, it will just work default wise. Sorry. It's been a long week. I've been tired all day. Although I feel better right now, actually, because I'm working on something I want to work on. All right, so if we get defense here, we're going to need some way. So there's no timer here because it lasts until the end of the round. So, but we're going to need something that is like a protection variable. So here's what we're going to do. Where's our constants? They're up here. I don't really have any constants. That's weird. Private, const, and we'll call it prot default. And that's going to be 100. We're going to use this as basically a percentage. And then here we're going to call it private int. Wait, do we want it to be 100 or 0? Yeah, we want it to be 0. No protection. So we're going to call it protection. And we're going to give it prot default. Okay. So we have a variable here that we're going to use. And so basically what we're going to do here is say if I could type protection equals data. That's exactly what we want to do there. Like that. That's it. We're just going to store that. And that's it. Because by default, it's gonna start the VFX. It's going to play the sound effect by default. It's going to add the buff. The only thing we have to do special for this is that. Right? And then when we remove it, guess what? We want to set that protection back to prot default. So this is remove buff. We're going to set it back. Reset buffs. We'll just say here if protection is not default. That's not a good way of doing this. We shouldn't do it this way. This is bugging me because normally I do parentheses like that. We'll just call it we'll say public is protected. That. And basically it's the same as this, and it's a complex anding here. So basically you're anding your buffs. So I should explain that real quick. Here, well, let's change this real quick to defense. Asset. And then I will explain this. All right, so the stats buff is is an unsigned integer. In the buffs, here's the list of all the buffs. And you'll see that's like 1, 2, 4, 8, 10, 20, 40, 80, 100, 200, 400. And you're like, why? Why is it like that? The reason it's like that is those are each of the individual bits. So all of this can be ORed together. And so you can be asleep and you can be held and you can have poison and you can be floating and you can have armor and you can have berserk and you can have all of them at the same time. And they're bitwise tick marks, one or zero, right? And so that code there, if we can find it again. Oh, well, here, this is the code right here. It's saying take the existing stat buffs and OR it in there. And so it's ORing it in. So if it's 1, it's going to be 1. If it's 0, it's going to be 1. Right? And then to remove it, let's see, remove it, you caret it, which caret is XOR. It's exclusive OR. So if it's, wait, is that right? Yeah. So it's removing it, right? So it's saying OR, and if it's 0 and 1, then it will be, if it's, basically it's going to be, if it's 1 and 1, it's be 0. Yes, you could have all of them at once if you're really wonderful. So anyway, so yeah, checking to see if you have it is just it's just anding it and seeing, you can and it and see if it's there. If that makes sense. It does to me. Because I've done this stuff before. Yeah, I have had to do bitwise. No, you got to remember when I was coding. it was PS2 era when I was a coder, right? And we used to have to bit smash everything. Everything was bit smashed so that we could fit it onto these freaking tiny cartridges, right? And so if we ever did something like this, we would always just, if we just needed 1 bit, 1 or 0, we used 1 bit. That's all we used, right? So it's funny because like people don't think of that stuff anymore. I start, and it's funny because I start sounding like this old lead programmer I had who was much older than I was back then, and he would be like, "Goddamn college programmers." It's because programming changes so much over the years. Like we don't like, I don't worry about memory management in C# at all because it has garbage collection and all that stuff. I used to have to worry about, like, we allocated and deallocated in reverse order so there would be no memory fragmentation. We worried about all that stuff. So, and people just don't worry about it anymore. Crazy to me. Okay. So now if we are protected, we're going to remove that buff and we'll be no longer protected. There's no update. Oh. So now there's no effect yet of that. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah. No, that works. Okay. So remember we said this buff will decrease 10 to 40% of the damage. Okay. So where are we going to do that? So in here, we have this function called resolve attack. And so that means someone has attacked me and they have an attack chance and they have a certain amount of damage coming in, right? And so right here, if we're hit, then we're going to take this damage. So obviously, this will be if they're dead, if they're asleep, then wake them up, and else if they're held, if not held, then do the hurt animation. That's right. That's what it was. If they're not held, then do it. All right. So, but what right here we want to do is we want to say if protected, right? It is protected. Yeah, it's like, it's reminding me of the name of my function that I just wrote. And then we're gonna decrease the damage right there. Yeah. Make the healing potion heal status effects. No, because we're gonna have spells for that. Yeah. So we have a cure spell, which we have not implemented yet. Where is that? Charm, resurrect. It's way down here. Because I figured we needed to do it after monsters are casting spells. Because the monsters, like let's say they cast poison on you, then they can cure you. Yeah. So there's going to be a cure spell. Okay. But that's a good idea. We could have cure potions as well, except I'm out of slots on the thing. Anyway, all right, let's is protected. All right, so is protected. What we want to do is let's see. How do we want to handle this? All right, I think instead of doing it here, I think what we want to say is int and then what we want to do is like say damage plus protection or something like that. Oh, is protect a keyword or something? Oh no, it's okay. Like that. Right. And then we'll calculate the protection right here. So what did we say? So what we said was if you're protected, then we're going to say protect equals damage times, and then we had that protection here, which was a global variable, divided by 100. That's a percentage, right? What we probably need to do here. So I'll explain how this is not good right now. So these are integers, right? And integers are not going to divide very well. They're gonna remain as integers, right? So what we want to do here is we're gonna cast this to a float, and a float is basically anything that has like a decimal point, right? In fact, instead of writing 100 here, we're gonna write 100.0f, which means float. And so now these are floats. And so, and now it's not very happy. Cannot implicitly convert a type float to int. All right, so what we're gonna do now is, why not? Oh, I guess, yeah. All right, so what we want to do is we're gonna convert that to a float, and then we're gonna convert this, all of it, to an int, like that. So this can be a little like weird. So basically, and by converting it to an integer, we're just truncating the decimal points. So let's say this is like, let's say this is 25. So we're gonna go through this. All right, so this would be a 25. We're gonna convert that to a float, right? And then we're going to, where's my calculator so I can I can show you this. So we're going to say this is 25 divided by 100, right? And so that's 0.25. And then let's say the damage was 10. We're going to multiply that by 10, and we're going to get 2.5. All right? But we're not going to round that up. We're actually just going to truncate it to 2. We could round it. We could look up the round function if we wanted to and put that in here, but we're just going to truncate it. And so now protection is 2, right? And so now down here, it's going to take this, what would we say, 5, and add 2 to it. Guess what? We've fucked this up, right? So we don't want to say damage plus protection. That makes the damage worse. We've inverted the protection. We want to say damage minus protection. Because remember, this was, what did we say it was? 10 minus 2. And so we're going to subtract 8 hit points instead of 10 hit points. And it's a good thing we walked through this, or we would have had a happy little accident. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach to Unity here, and we're going to actually put a breakpoint. No, so cancel that. We're going to have to fix we're going to put a breakpoint right here so that we can step through the code and make sure it's doing what we want it to do. All right, that warning was it doesn't compile. We've made a compile error somewhere. Save this real quick. What? Oh, book. That's a bool. Yes or no? True or false? Now it should compile. Okay, so we're not done, but we have coded up everything. All of that should work. Seems pretty solid. That's all we needed to do. So let's go back to this, and we're gonna say we've done adding the buff, so let's add the VFX. So it has to take the script change. Okay, so if we go to the spell manager, over here, there's a thing in the editor that we've added that is all the VFX that we're doing. Right? And so we're going to add a new element. 2 elements. And we're going to go find one that we want to use for protection. So these are all the ones we've done so far. This is the one we've used for protection. Or that wasn't protection. That was... which one was that one? Whatever's before protection. Whatever we did. Whatever we did last time. That was invisibility. So we're going to look for something for defense. We're going to open that up there. We're gonna double click on that again. Oh, actually, here's what we're gonna do. All right, we're not doing that. If we go to the project and we go to this thing called Lana Studios, that's where we got all of these from. There was one that was like here it says shields. We have an electric shield, a fire shield, a freezing shield, a gold shield, or a wind. Let's look at gold real quick. Okay, that looks pretty good. So that would be surrounding the player. It's a little... Let's look at this one. Okay, that's not bad either. Fire shield, that's just cool. Hey, pass. I don't think we should do an ice shield. I think the gold one is too much. The windshield's okay. I'm gonna go with electric shield. I think what we're gonna do here is set the scale to 75. I think that's about the scale we've been using for the other ones. Zoom out some. Let's hit save. That out. Okay, so see where that is right there? So we're going to back out of this and go to the spell manager. And then we're just going to take this right here, this spell shield electric, and we're going to drag it right onto there. And so that is it. That's all we had to do. Now it will use that VFX when we cast the spell. Which one did you like? What was the last one? The wind one with the leaves? The gold one I think is just too. The wind one? Yeah, the wind one's kind of cool. You think we should do that one? Does that scream protection to you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. The electric one seems. It could be any of them. Honestly, I like the shield aspect of it. Okay. Well, what's great about that is, I mean, how easy it is to change is boom, it's now wind instead, right? It's so easy to change. That's the power of Unity. Is like if you code it up so that you can like give the ability of your designers and your artists to just mess around with the editor and they don't even have to load up a script. You know, good for you. You've written it in such a way that they can edit things. Like actually what would be best on the spell list would be to have it in the editor and then you could just edit it in the editor. But I'm old school, so we're not doing it that way. We're not doing it that way. But I guess what you could do is drag the spell list in and it would be in here or something like that. All right, so now we have to find some sound. So I'm going to turn off the music here for a second. And we're going to load up the audio. And we need something that's like shield-like, maybe. Is there something that says shield? Healing, projectile, protection. Here's protection. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty good one. I don't like that one. Oh, here's ones that called shield. I don't like that one. I don't like either one of those. Let's look at these that say recharge. I don't like any of these. Here's buff protect. That sounds like a good one. What's this next one? Very generic. Very generic. That's my favorite one right there. I think we're going to go with that one. I feel like we've used this one. So we did. We used it. We used it right here for 7. Not that we can't use it for both. What was 7? Is it 1 or 0 base? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Armor. Okay. Armor and defense. That sounds like the same. Makes sense, right? I would like the same sound for both. What did we end up using? Area generic orange. Oh, that's the armor that we used. Okay, that's fine. Okay. You know, we might end up using, well, let's see what it looks like and then we can go from there. Cuz I was thinking instead of using that orb, we could use something like that as well. Like, was it area generic orange? Area generic blue? Yeah, we could use that. Why not green? Green is usually healing. But we could do blue for protection. All right, we're going to go with the orb. Oh, we have those too. Maybe we did do orbs. We did shields. That's what we used. I'm going to take a screenshot of that, and it's going to make a sense here in a second why I took a except I didn't take a screenshot. I'm going to capture that color in a little bit. So, and you'll see why later. Okay. So, we have, go back to our Notion. We've added the VFX. We've added the sound effects. Adding the feedback. That's what we need to do now. All right. So, what we want to do is have, just like we have, so we have this thing called, save this. Let me go to the prefabs, and we have this thing called damage indicator. And here it's just a blank text field right here. And the damage indicator is basically, you know, it has the text that, you know, when you get healed and it says +2, or when you get damage, it says -10. That's this right here. And it has some code. Where's the script for it? Oh, here it is. Damage animation. Oh, so here's it. So here's all the different colors. See how you have mist color, damage color, level up color, heal color, mana color, protection color. So we want to have like a defense color. We're working on defense right now. So what we're going to do here is add one that's called defense. And I took that blue color because we're going to make it that same color blue as the VFX. I did that intentionally. So we need to open the script right here. We don't, yeah, this is the animation and stuff like that. So, wait, no. What have I done? Main battle canvas. Get me out of here. Okay, there we go. Prefab. Where's the prefab? Prefab damage indicator. Did I not kick? Oh, there it is. There's the script right there. I must have. Oh, I clicked it on the animation controller. This is bad when you name everything the same. Okay, so see right here where it says public color. It has all these different things. Anytime you go into a class in the script and you make it public, it puts it in here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to say First, we're going to check it out. And we're going to say, I like how it wants to put in heal up color. You're wrong, autocomplete or copilot or whatever you want to say. This is going to be called defense up. Defense. We'll just call it defense color. That. And when we hit save, magic, that's compiling it. There's a new one, defense color, and it's black. Can I just use this color picker here and just, so we have this screenshot I take. Can I just use this and highlight something? Doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, no, it is doing it. Okay. Okay. Here, I'm going to have it off screen so that I can actually get to it. So, but just know I'm clicking that and then I'm just going to go over to this blue. No, that's not the right blue. Now let's have it that blue. Boom. Done. It basically does, you'll take on less damage if you're protected. The spell name is Shell. Oh, let's turn our music back on. Oh, shit. Hold on. There, our music's back on. Okay. Well, let's go back to that code. So we have this defense color. And what we want to do here is say, see where it says protection up. We want to say defense up or something like that. Like that. And basically, we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did here, except we'll say, what do you want to call it? Hopefully it fits in there. Defense plus, we should say plus 10% defense. Like that. And we don't want to use protection color, we want to use defense color. And that's it. All we have to do. Oh, well, that's not true. I lied to you. We have to trigger it. And so we do that back in character. So remember back up here when we set the protection? That wasn't where we did it. We did it right here. Well, at the same time, we want to look at this. We did it right here. We want to oh, that's interesting. Yeah, all right, we'll just do it again. All right, so we'll say damage indicator, damage animation. Yeah, we can't call it that. We can't have two of these. So we're going to call it not damage animation. We'll call it protection animation. And we're going to send it data. And it will spawn it. Just like that. Okay. We've added feedback. We've added it. We've done buffs. We've done VFX. We've added the special effect. I think it's ready to try. Test it out. All right, so let's what we have to do now is turn off the regular fries quest before we get in trouble. Hold on, I'm switching everything over from the regular fries quest that we do at break to the test environment. Or dev environment, I should say. Okay. So this should be ready to test. So do that. Did we do any changes? I guess we did. Yeah, we did. So we added that color. And, oh yeah, we were going to connect. We wanted to step through the code, remember? So we've got to attach to Unity. We are now attached to Unity. Oh, you know what? Let's not call this defense protection animation. That's defense animation. And yeah, we call this protection up. Defense up. See, that's the danger of copying and pasting code right there. Okay. Oh, I see. That's supposed to be those little orbs walking, Scotty. I was like, it looks weird in my chat. Okay, so let me unlock this. And now you can join if you would like to play the new Fries quest. I'm going to bring in... I always have this kind of other bot. I basically use my JFriesinator bot as another player. And I have like multiple windows open of chat. So let's, right off the bat, let's type spells. And we should see shell in there somewhere. There it is, shell. That's the spell we want to test, this shell. Yeah, if anyone else wants to join, feel free. You do not have to, though. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna test casting it just on JFriesinator. And I think I'm thinking of a bug right now, right off the bat. All right, so we want to cast shell on JFriesinator. See what it says. Oh, it'll break in the code real quick. All right, and freeze. It didn't do anything. So we messed up something. All right, so we already messed it up. What did we mess up? What the hell? defense, defense, defense. Let's look at our that was in there, right? We're gonna reopen that the spell. The spells. Quick. Shall defense 10, 5, 10, 40, defense, defense, defense. Seems correct. That's correct. Oh, wait, here we go. Right. No, we did that. Did that. Add buff. Oh, here we go. So it came in to cast spell, and it didn't know where to send it. So, case spell buff type spell buff type defense. That was the problem. All right, so let's address what I was thinking. Here's the problem I'm thinking of. So we go in here. Let's say I cast, and then I cast it again. Let's say I cast it twice on somebody, which could totally happen, right? And this is kind of what we did up here. If data is greater than protection, then do that. So what we want to do here is say if data is greater than defense. What did we call it? No. Oh, we called it protection? No wonder that's confusing. All right, let's call it oh yeah, this is very confusing. All right, so so if data is greater than defense, then do all of this. It sucks when we have one called protection and one called data. Oh, defense. So instead of, we're going to call this defense. And so let's change that to defense. And we'll call this DEF default instead of protection default. Hey, Lemon Square. And then remember down here, we call it is protected. How's that? What did we call it up here? Has protection. And then we call this one is protected. That's so confusing. Has defense. We'll just call it that. Has defense. And so up here we want to say has defense. And then it's going all right. We're just adding this defense spell. So here, instead of is protected, we want to say has defense. And then, oh yeah, we changed that to defense. We shouldn't call it just defense. I guess that's fine. Exactly. Defense is a good offense. Okay. And it subtracts from damage, basically. Okay. We have everything that I've been thought of. All right, so let's go back to testing it again. We have a compile error. Oh, did we not hit save? Okay. Here, I'm gonna stop this real quick. There's my errors. Oh. Okay. We just forgot to set it there too. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, feel free to join if you would like. We want to cast shell on J Friesenator. Well, plus 34% defense. That was very wordy. I think what we'll do is DEF, defense. I think that'll be good enough. That shell is awfully big. Okay, so this was the first time we had the shell and we got attacked. And so basically damage is 1 and defense is 34. So it's going to take 34% of 1 and the defense is going to be 0. So 1 minus 0 is, so our current hit points are 59. Our hit points are now 58. So didn't do much there. Alright, so I think that shield is too big. So we're going to reduce that shield. Alright, here we go again. This time the damage was 3. So the defense is 1. And so, yeah. Wait, damage is 3. Them added together is 2. I was confused there for a second. Yeah, that shield's way too big. Here's another damage. They're just not doing too much damage, are they? Oh, you know what? I see it. I see a bug. When the number floating above is not the right number. See where it says damage here? So what we want to do is damage minus defense. Alright, so let's continue that. Pause it. Alright, so we want to fix the bubble size and that damage indicator. So hey, Oceanic. Fortunately, I have it within arm's reach. All right, so first that let's go to spell manager and remember the shield electric. There it is, right there. We had it at 75. Maybe let's do it as 50 and see how that looks. So we're gonna save that. So that shrank it a little bit. Welcome home. And now we got to fix that damage indicator. So just like we did damage minus defense here, down here where we say damage, we also want to say damage minus defense. We don't need to have it in print. And we're going to hit save. And we're going to play it again. Again, feel free if you would like to join in. Let's undo that breakpoint. Or here, we're gonna, well, actually we're gonna keep that. Where was that? That was in characters? Oh, there it is. We're just gonna turn that off. Alright. Cast, shell, J Friesenator. Okay, that's a better size. I'm worried it's not going to cover some of the monsters, but I guess we can fix that later. Definitely the right size for the characters. And it doesn't look too bad. I don't remember what protection it said. Or defense. Oh yeah, that's another thing we were going to change. Making them all miss. Alright, here we're gonna do cast shell, which will cast it for both players. But it's gonna be diminished. So you see it gave me plus 7%, but it didn't give anything to J Friesenator because the first spell was better. So what I could do is I could cast shell on just myself. And that should give me a better protection. Yeah, plus 23. Let's make sure it goes away at the end of the... Went away. I love the VFX we added for healing. That's cool. No, that's fine. Vibe away. We got some vibing music going on. We're going to take a break in a few minutes after I finish testing this. Oh, and it would help if I actually started testing it. Fast shell. And this will do it for both characters here. That's right. ARK Bear. Oh my goodness. Now, is this like a... Have you always had a cat, or is this just... You're blessed with the cat being in your lap? So you're very much vibing. Chilling and vibing, as Pass said. There you go. Your house sitting. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the implementation. I think it's working really well. So there was one thing I wanted to fix, which was this damage where it says percent defense. We're just going to say DEF instead of defense. That makes it shorter. Yeah, hold on just a second. We're gonna switch over to Real Fries Quest in a second. Yeah, so that seems like that's good. So we tested it. The defense buff is good to go. We're gonna mark that as done. And where did it send it? It probably sent it to the bottom, didn't it? Did it just kind of throw it in the middle? Oh, it sent it there. That's weird. Set it there. I could have just drug it over there. So. All right, so defense is done. I'm gonna check in the code real quick. Gonna belch my Mexican food. Casting spells. We'll call it class system. Casting spells. Defense buff. Submit. All right, so the next one we're going to work on is speed. And I call it a buff and a debuff because there's two spells that we're doing here. One will increase the speed of an ally so that they attack twice per round and remains until the end of the battle. Or it can be used as an attack spell, decrease the speed of an enemy so it only attacks every other round until the end of the battle. So there's two spells. It's the same buff, but it's used as a buff and a debuff. So that's kind of cool. So that's what we'll work on next. So let me switch it over. Right. Back to our main. All right. Exclamation mark join if you want to play some Fries Quest. Oh, why didn't our add in progress thing work? That's weird.
Buy something, will ya?
I'm ready. Let's go. This store reeks of capitalism.
Ready for battle.
Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, if you played last game, you can now join.
Ready for battle.
Just in time.
Ready for action. Storm in the castle.
All right. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna work on the speed buff next. See you in a second.
I'm ready. Let's go. This store reeks of
This
capitalism.
store isn't run on capitalism. It's run on monopolism.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle. Ready for battle. Ready for action.
I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow in the knee. having a special today. On nothing.
Ready for action.
I'm ready. Let's go. This store reeks of capitalism.
Ready for battle. Ready for action. Ready for action.
We're closed. Get out of here.
Hello. Congrats, Lemon Square. I'm trying to... I never did my go live stuff. And so... trying to do it real quick. And by real quick, I mean real slowly. Okay. Even though I've been live for about an hour and a half. Okay. Let me close the old fries quest before I mess stuff up. It's happened. Are y'all talking about the price of the sword? Do I need to reset it? It'll get reset eventually. Okay. So, alright, so we're going to work on the speed buff / debuff because there is a increased speed and a decreased speed. Yeah, Neil does say all sales are final. So, there you go.
Maybe I should raise the prices with the tariffs.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Oh, we forgot about tariffs. We should raise the price.
Yes, you get a discount.
You should record something that says that.
You get a discount.
Because of tariffs.
You get a discount, but it expired yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Walk is dead. If y'all haven't watched South Park yet, it's pretty good for this week.
I need to. I guess I should go back and listen to what they are because I can't remember what I've done and what I haven't.
Yeah, there are some new stuff you're supposed to be recording.
I think there was one that was something about like a coupon that expired yesterday or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's like all of our coupons expired yesterday.
Yeah.
See, you don't hear them. I hear them all the time because I'm listening to the
stream.
Yeah,
I just do it the one time and never hear them again.
Yeah, and then you never... That's why you have to go back before he records them again, he has to go back and listen to them so he can get the voice again. All right, so what's the first thing we did last time? We added the spells, then we buffed, then we added VFX. Changing the speed of the animations. We will add the sound effect, and we will test it. I would say also, besides the buff, it's also adding the effect of the buff too, right? So I would say by changing the speed of the animation is probably up here. Okay. Yeah. So we go back to here and open this. Okay, so here's our spells again. Let me pull up. This is the spell list. I'm going to move it over to the other monitor. The shell is done. So it's looking like here. This is our reference. We have haste. And we have slow. So those are the two that we're doing. Haste and slow. There. So these are both wizard spells, right? No, they're cleric spells. Is there anything? No, that's it. All right, so they're cleric spells. I guess Wizard does have quite a bit of spells already. So we're going to insert 2 new spells. That. And we're going to call this one Haste. And this is an ally. So this is a defensive, and you can only do it on one person. So it's O, defense 1. The cost is 26, and the cast time is 13. The buff is speed. And I think what we need to do here is say, we're gonna say this is like 1. No. How do we want to do this? I think we want to say +1 and -1. So we'll say 1 is speed up and 2 is slow down. And so the VFX we want is speed up. So we're changing this up a little bit because we're going to have VFX and sound effects that are different even though the buff is the same. And this is the first time we've done this. So this one will be slow. And this is attack only 1. Right? That takes 14, 7, speed, -1. And we'll go slow down. So this is the first time, like, these have been basically the same for all of them, except this is the first time where we're doing something different there. Right? Okay. So let's save this. Close it. We've added the spell. Now let's go to our spell manager and add the loading in here. So I guess one of the things we have to do in here is, all right, the spell buff is, check out the file, spell buff speed. But see, on the VFX, we have 2 to add here, right? Spell VFX speed up and spell VFX slow down. And we have the same thing for sound too. Okay. So here we need to add in speed with Sandra Bullock. Oh, did Rimshot not work? It's like Mix It Up has decided not to work today. Oh, what's this button? These services have disconnected and are attempting to reconnect. Oh. Look at that. Here, I'm going to reset Mix It Up real quick. Well, when we went to add earlier, the little thing didn't pop down. Hold on just a second. Yeah, nothing literally happened. All right, let me try the services real quick. There you go. Thanks. Well, we know it's working. That's working. That's okay, so it seems to be working now. There you go. What was the other? Nothing.
Nothing happens.
Okay. And we have an ad coming up in 5 minutes, so we'll test it. Okay. We did that. So what was this one? This one was speed up. And slow down. Okay. So I've added that. Here's the buff spell. So, Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Thanks for following. Okay. Ugh. So, what we want to do here is first we're gonna say, oh, you know what? I just thought of, if you're slowed down and you get haste cast on you, do you go back to normal? I never thought about that. All right. Well, that's definitely something we're gonna have to think about. Okay. So we're gonna put a buff on it. Okay. Well, hold on now. Now I gotta think about this. So. Thinking. I feel like the all right, what do we have here on the character? Let's look at our, so definitely speed. There is speed, and yeah. Hey, should cancel it out. Right, I agree too, Ricoli. I think that's what we have to do here. So back. Okay. I agree. So spell data. All right, so that's what we're going to do there, right? And then we're going to let the character decide all of that. We're going to send that to the character. So the Franker face extension in Firefox for Twitch doesn't work. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, hold on. So this is the mistake we made earlier. We forgot to add this in. Feed. There we go. Hey, Zab. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, look, the ad thing worked. We're in ads. Do. It's gone all right. We've added the defense buff. We did that. And now we're working on speed up and slow down. All right, so we've gotten the spell part done. And so now into the character. I guess we should... How do we want to do this? I'm deciding. I'm thinking. Can you see the can you see the smoke? Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an enum here. I don't know if it needs to be a public enum. We'll just call it a private enum. And call it speed. And we'll call it char speed. And we'll call it slow. Char speed normal. And char speed fast. You know, health. So there we go. We've added... we're not going to call it speed. We'll call it character speed. Character speed. We're going to call it char speed. I didn't want to have to type out character. Okay. And so we're going to call this variable here private char speed. And it's we'll call it speed, and we'll call it normal. So by default, the speed of all the characters will be normal. Yeah. Charizard speed. So there you go. So now we have that, right? So... So we come into here, we add the buff, We trigger the VFX. We play the sound effect. We come right here. And we say... speed. So... I want to say... okay. Now there's different ways we can look at this. All right. So let's call this char speed. Okay, char speed, and we're going to call this new speed. All right. And it is do y'all know about a tertiary what is it? What's it called? All right, we'll see if I can remember it. All right, so data greater than 0 question mark. Then we're gonna say fast colon slow. Did I do that correct? I believe I did. What's it called? Is it a tertiary? Oh my goodness. I just pulled it out of my butt just remembering how to do it, but I don't remember what it's called. All right, what is question mark colon, I don't know, operator called in C? Ternary. Wait, operator in C is called the conditional operator or ternary operator. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. That's it. Well, there you go. I've completely forgot about that. So there you go. If Charizard speeds through the Emerald City and Mario flies through the Delta Quadrant, at what time does Pac-Man eat a Plinko chip? That is a very good question. I would say it would be blue is the answer to that. There you go. 70 years. Yeah. African or European? All right, so new speed. So now we have different things going on here, right? So if our current speed is, so we're either slow, faster, or so let's do, goodness, F. All right, if current speed is slow and new speed is fast, or, and let's do parentheses to make it a little bit more readable. So we're doing the case where we're doing the opposite, right? Char speed dot fast and new speed is slow, right? All right, so that's one case. And in that case, what we're doing is we're saying remove the buff, right? Just remove it. Remove buff speed. Oh my goodness. Why can't I just this? Remove that buff. And that should be all I need to do. Yeah. And so then else if how do I want to do this? I guess we want to say if we are, because if it's slow, and fast, we don't care. So the only thing we care about are those two cases, and if we're normal. Yeah, I guess we should do if we're normal and we're going fast, then do one thing. And if we're normal and going slow, do one thing. So if we're currently normal and new speed equals slow. Gosh dang it. I hate it when I do that. Then do one thing. Else if speed equals normal and new speed is fast, then we're going to do that. Everything else we're going to ignore because the other ones remaining would be fast, and slow. Okay. Yeah, exactly. You taking notes? Sometimes that's what programming is. It's just thinking through the logic in your head, right? All right. So, what are we going to do if you're becoming slow? Well, first of all, we're going to set your speed to slow. So now your speed is slow. Now, so we've done the VFX. We don't have to do the VFX. We're going to slow your animation. And we actually did this earlier. See right here? Character animator dot speed equals 0. So all we have to do is, that's the command. What is this though? It is a float. So if we did 0.5f on that, that would slow the animation in half, right? And here we'll say speed equals fast. And we're going to say character animator dot speed equals 2.0f. So it's going to be playing twice as fast. Oh, you know what we didn't do here is when we remove the buff. Actually, we're going to do it here. Right here. Because I'm sure that's where I did it here. Yeah. See right here. So case character status buff speed. First, we're going to change the speed back to normal. And then we're going to what was that? Character animator dot speed equals 1. Like that. So that's what we do when we remove it. And that. All right, so that's resetting all the buffs. So we probably need to do something like public here's what we're gonna do here. We're not gonna do a function for this. We're just gonna say here in remove reset buffs, we're gonna say if speed is not normal, then remove buff. Speed. Like that. So we've done this. We basically have done the same thing, right? We could write a function for that, but okay. Your speed animation is always slow. All right, so there we go. We have that. We've buff updated. We don't need to do that. We didn't do anything there. That's it. Okay, no, it's not it. I lied. So we haven't done the we've made it look fast. He's going fast or he's going slow. Right? But we haven't done the effect. Right? So somehow by effect I mean if you're haste, that means you get to attack twice per round. And if you're slowed, you only get to attack every other round. So how are we going to do that? Okay. So how are we going to do that? So the attacks are not in the character. The attacks are all controlled in the battle manager. So let's go and go over here to the battle manager real quick. And what happens is I'm going to go up here somewhere. All right, so yeah, so right here this is where it's going around and it says, is it time to attack? Yeah, that's not a bad one. Just like say, hey, you don't get to attack this round. That would be slow. And fast, just double attack maybe, something like that. So we kind of need to do this again. Actually, what we may need to do is insert it in here. I'm thinking. Okay. So one thing you'll notice here is you can see it has initiative and figures out who goes first and all that other stuff. Just like in D&D. Based on D&D. So here's where it processes all the spells. And so now it's time for the players to attack. And so it goes in here and loops through all the players and it creates this fight list. It almost seems what we need to do is, if they're sped up, add them to the fight list again, right? That would be the right way to do it. It's picking them at random too. And so we say, oh, but look at this. Or if the fight list contains that random player, pick another random player. That's fine. Because we could just say, we can still add we could just add something right here that says, oh, but see, here's a problem here. It's gonna only loop through. No, that's still fine. We could just say right here, if character is sped up, then add them twice. We could also go in here and say, we could add something to the player that says, did I attack last round? Yes or no? And it could remember, the character could remember, did I attack last round? And then we could say, if I'm slowed down and I attacked last round, then I don't attack this round because I'm slowed down. And don't add me to the list. And now we're not in the list. Right? In the fight list. What do we do with that fight list? Fight index. See, we're looping. The problem is, all right, so what we should do here is, we should change this number party alive to the fight list. Fight index. What is that? Oh, that's right, because it has to take multiple rounds through this. Right. So yeah, so fight index +1. Yeah, so what I think is, what we do is say fight index, fight list count instead of number party alive. Because we're going to increment it. I think we'll just change that to the right thing. Okay. This is complicated. I knew this was going to be complicated, by the way. So this is the players attacking, and then this is the monsters attacking. And the monsters are very similar to the players. There's a monster fight list, and it adds it. And so we're basically would be doing the same thing for the monsters. Okay. So how do we do this? So I think what we do, how do we clear that though? How do we clear the attack flag?
With a line of code?
Yeah. I'm just trying to do it like so it's clean.
I haven't been paying enough attention to what you're doing.
I know.
I mean, I can usually look at stuff and tell what it's doing, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't something like that just usually part of a loop or...
Yeah. The loops are pretty complicated. You're very quiet.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. You're not paying attention because that's all I'm talking about is looping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think here's what we're gonna do. First off, remember up here where we made this speed thing private? So we're not gonna make it private anymore. It's now public. In fact, we're gonna have a public function called public char speed get character speed, and it's gonna return speed. Do we have like a reset at the end of the round or something? Oh yeah, here's reset. What the fuck is that? Oh no, I don't think we want to do that. Why does it have Unity message? Oh, because it's virtual. Okay. Where's it calling this? Free campaign. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to reset them. Walk to get attacked. Where do we like resurrect all the players that are dead? Ready up. Already pre-battle. We need. I think there's like a post-battle. All this is code I've written a long time ago, by the way. That's the thing is when you're building something that gets larger and larger and larger, you may not touch some of this code for like a year, and then you have to kind of remember everything that you did, right? Okay, so here's post-battle. So, well, we go through each player, and we reset their target. We flush the spell casting queue. So if there's any spells that are in the middle of going anything. You did Minecraft coding? If I remember correctly, Minecraft is in Java or JavaScript, which is C-based. This is where I do those. I do the if it's victory, then it has a random TwitchCon hype pop, you know, that's all the different emotes. Look at that. If player is a subscriber. Else defeat.
Minecraft has 2 editions. There is a Java edition, and there's one what's called the Bedrock edition, which was coded in C++.
Oh, okay. I still don't see where I resurrect everybody if they're dead. Oh, maybe that's in Ready Up. A lot of gaming is states. It's state-driven coding, right? Here's Ready Up. Reset all the monsters. Well, that would make sense to reset the monsters. Because they come out, they're different every time, but the players aren't. Welcome to Neil's Deals. This is where I'm sending that chat message. Then for each player in the player list, mark them not ready, reset the mana, reset buffs, and if they're dead, resurrect them. Okay. So that would work. So that's a good place to reset that. Doesn't even really matter. Because we're only going to be using this when you're slowed down. And we're going to say, did you attack last time? Yeah, I could see that. Okay, let's do that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So, in character, we'll just have a bool. And we'll just say attacked last round. We'll just call it that. And we'll call it false by default. And when the person attacks, do we have attack in here? Or is it purely virtual? Oh, here it is. Attack. There is a monster. Okay. So we're just going to say here, attack last round is true. And that will set it. And then we'll have some functions down here, which are like reset attack flag. And that'll be just saying is that what it's called? Yeah. And we'll just have a bool that said did attack last round. And we'll say return this. Like, why is it highlighting it? It's because it's on my find. Okay. So we have all of that, right? We set it, we reset it, or we have ways of resetting it. We're good. So now over here, well, so we'll go ahead and on this ready up, we're gonna reset everything. So for each monster in the list, we're gonna say, I'm gonna check out this file. Hold on. We're gonna say monster dot, reset attack flag. Like that. And then we'll do it for each player too. So that's all done. And it's set when it's attacked. So we're done with all of that. So we need to go kind of to where that stuff was earlier that I was walking you through, which is the attack code. Well, here it is. We're there. So first, we need to change this, what I was talking about here. So we're not going to do that as num party is alive, because this is making an assumption right here. This code is making an assumption that the number of players, the fight list is equal to that. So it won't make any sense. So what we need to do here is say fight list dot count. So that anytime the fight index goes over the count, then it will not go into this part, right? And if the index is the first one, this is where it's going to start adding things in here. So what we're going to do here is say, so let's say if, oh, did we ever do get speed? Yeah, we did. Get character speed. Oh, I guess we have to say random player dot. Wait. Oh, wait, that's an index. We can't do that. Oh, we're just adding indexes in there. Okay, sorry. I had to player list random player dot get speed. I'm just gonna say get speed. I'm gonna change that to, we're changing this to, it is a character, so we're just gonna say get speed. That's faster. Get sped. If speed is, well, let's do slow first. If speed equals slow and it didn't attack last round, and all of this did attack last round. So if it didn't attack last round and it's slow, then add it to the list. Okay. All right, actually, we're not going to end that. So we're going to say if it's slow, go into this part. And then we're going to say if it didn't attack last round, there we go. Then add it to the fight list. Else, so meaning it did, and I like to use, anytime I do an else, I like to put a comment here. So we're saying it did attack last round. Well, we'll say it's slow and did attack last round. So we're not adding it to the fight list. Okay. Oh, you know what? That's not going to work. Oh, yeah, I guess it will work. The problem is it's going to keep coming in here a lot. But anyway, okay, it's fine. This isn't going to work. Well, let me finish this thought real quick. So what we're going to do here is then say, and then I'm going to explain why it won't work. Not did attack round. Say reset back flag here. So what that's going to do is it's going to say if we didn't attack, then it's going to alternate it, right? And we'll be okay. All right, so let's let's talk about why this won't work. So, thank you, Murray. Good morning. 52. Wow. All in a row? Thank you again, Murray. I hope you're having a good Saturday morning. It's early, I'm sure. What is it, 6? You wake up way freaking early. Okay, so here's why this isn't going to work. So, right here, we're looping. Maybe it will work. I'm just going to walk through it in my mind. For half an hour. Oh, great. Wonderful. All right, so we're looping through the number of party members who are alive. Check. So then all this is doing is going through it. It wants to go through this list. You know, let's say there's 8 party members. It wants to go. It's going to loop through this 8 times, right? It gets here and it says if the party isn't alive or they are already in the list, then get me a random player. So it's it comes out of this function with a random player that isn't in the list. Yeah. So here's why this isn't going to work. And it's because I think what we're going to have to do is leave this code alone and do this somewhere else, and I'll show you where we're gonna do it. Because if we mess with this list, this code isn't gonna work. Basically, it's ordering it it's taking the number of alive players and ordering it in a random order. So let's abandon this code that we've written here. Well, here actually, I love this code, so we're gonna save it real quick. I'm saving it. This is handy dandy notepad. We saved it to notepad. See, that code does not exist. All right, so we're gonna I'm hitting Control Z. We're undoing all this code I wrote. I know all programmers use notepad. Notepad is awesome. Okay. Now this is just basically undoing everything I did. All right, so now we're going to even put that back the way it was. Okay. That's fine. That's good. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to mess with that list. We've created that list. That's fine. Here's where we're going to change it. So now it's, so right here, it's skipping the attack if it's your turn to, if you're casting a spell, you don't attack. So we're going to do it down here where the attack happens. Okay. So what did we wrote? So 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 here's what we're gonna do. Right here. Actually, we're not gonna do it right there. Oh my god, this is a big function. I didn't realize how big this function is. All right, we're gonna call this we're gonna call it, all right, is there blah 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 line index. I want to call it, I just want to call a function. All right, we're going to call it int num tax. Okay. By default, it'll be 1. Call it Dave. We're not calling a variable Dave. That is not readable code. Your code needs to be readable. All right. So right here, we're going to call this num attacks. Wait. What was it called again? Did I put it out of scope of this area? Oh, it is. It's all right. So this is here's something we just learned. See this num attacks? It's inside this bracket, so it's only good for this area. So we don't want that. We want it up here. I guess we could put it in here. Yeah, here, we'll do this, actually. Here. Okay, we're going to put it in here. Right here. We're going to call it int num attacks. And it's equal to num attacks. And we're going to say get player attacks. Get num player attacks. And we're going to give it this player. Or this character, actually. We'd call it a player. We'll call it character. Get num. We'll just call it get num attacks. Because we're going to use the same function for the monster. Okay? Right there. So get number attacks. Or int I equals, oh gosh, we use I all the time. A. Bob. Look out, if A equals 0, for int A equals 0, A is less the number of attacks. A++, right? And so this whole section is going to loop. We're gonna get rid of that for a second. Don't like there's a lot of spaces there. Okay. So now we're gonna loop through here the number of times you get to attack. All right, and this may be 1, and it may be 2, right? That sounds like it's gonna work. I don't like this buff update being in here though. So we're taking that out. Okay. So get num attacks. We have to write that function now, right? And I did it as a function just because I didn't realize how big of a freaking function this is. That's scary. So private int get number of attacks, which is going to be a character. And we'll just call it char attacking, or attacking char. There we go. Int num attacks equals 0, and then we'll say return attacks. All right. So there we go. We've written the function. No. If we're not done. We're not done. Are you heading back to bed, Murray? All right, have a good one. All right, so if remember the first thing was casting a spell, right? So if we're not casting a spell, and we'll say, remember that other code we wrote? We're bringing that back. We're gonna, oh yeah, so that casting spell, we fucked that up. All right, so if attacking character isn't casting, you prematured your yay. I hate when that happens. If the attacking character's get speed is slow, and if they didn't attack, if they did attack last round, then if they didn't attack last round, then num attacks equals 1. Right? Else, attacking character reset their flag. There we go. Right? So we use that code that we had over there on in the notepad there. So I'm going to close that. So else if attacking character is get speed fast, then guess what? Num attacks is 2. Else, then the character's normal speed. Num attacks is 1. There we go. So let's look at this function that we just wrote. So we're going to come in here. We're passing it an attacking character. First, is it casting a spell? If it is casting a spell, it's going to jump down here, and it's already 0, so they don't get to attack if they're casting a spell. If they aren't casting a spell, it's going to come in here and get their speed. If they are slow, then I'm gonna yawn. If they're going slow, then characters it gets speed. If it's going slow and he didn't attack last round, then he gets an attack. And if he did attack last round, then we're going to reset that flag so it marks that he didn't attack last round. And then if he is going fast, he gets 2 attacks, and if he's normal, 1 attack. So, all right, so that seems that worked, right? And so now I can click the only place we've called it right here. We're gonna create all our index. We're gonna come into here. We're gonna go through this loop based on the number of attacks we have. So if it's 0, it's gonna be 0. Is 0 less than 0? No. So it's not gonna even run this loop if it's 0, right? So that's gonna work, and they'll get to attack twice. So that's the player. So now we got to do the same thing for the monster, right? What's num monster turns? Oh, it's number of monsters alive. Got it. Oh, that's right. We have the whole can attack. I forgot about the can attack. So you can only attack if you're not sleep or held. I don't think we did that for the player. So we're going to have to do that for the monster. So we're fixing a bug that was going to happen, right? Let's go back to this. Go back here. So if it's not casting, and attacking character can attack. Yeah, if we go to can attack, I'll show you what that is. It's right here. So if you're asleep or you're held, you can't attack. So if you can attack, let's say you can't attack, then it's not going to go in here. If you can attack and you're not casting, if you're casting, that'll be false. Okay, so that works. That works. I had to think about it. There are a lot of variables. Okay. So let's jump back down to where we use that. All right, it's right before we get the attack victim. So get attack victim. So, yeah, so I think we're going to do that right here. Process live. Okay. Bleh. Did we run it? Did our music stop? It feels like the music stopped. It did. We're going a little overtime on this. I think we're going to try and finish this code, and then we may just get it compiling, and then we'll finish it next time. But we did pretty good. So let's just get this in here. So what we want to do is say yeah, I mean, look up there are great ways to learn how to code. I mean, I had a lot of classes. I took this for, I have a computer science degree, so I took a lot of classes on this. Learned multiple languages. And I coded for 10, 12 years, so professionally. Okay. We want to do it right here, so I'm just trying to decide how I want to do this. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to say int num attacks equals get num attacks, and then we're going to send it monster list monster fight index. And I'm just going to remove that can attack there. And then we'll just use that. And then we'll say, for a int a equals 0, a is less than num attacks, just like we did before. Just like that. A happy little tree. So we're doing it the exact same as we did the player up above, and that will loop twice if they get to attack twice, and if they're sped up and stuff like that, or slowed down. Happy little coded tree. Okay. Do we compile is the question. Is this compiling? Have we saved? Seems like it is. Yeah, so next time what we'll probably do is we'll probably put some breakpoints in here and just make sure it's working, right? That's what I usually like to do is make sure shit is working before I, unleash it on the world. So what we'll do next time is in the player code, we'll put we'll put some breakpoints in, and we'll put some breakpoints on the monster too. We'll slow a monster down and see if it slows down, if it does this part correct. But yeah, so let's go back to this. So we added the buff. We changed the speed of the information. We haven't added the VFX or sound effects, and we haven't tested it. So we got halfway through the spell casting stuff, or the speed buff debuff. So we'll finish that off, and then maybe charm will be fun. So charm will allow you to the monster will start attacking other monsters. Oh shit, how are we gonna do that? Oh shit, how are we gonna do that? Well, fuck. Well, I mean, we have a function here called get monster attack victim. And it returns an integer. We could just have it return a character, and you just attack that character. That would work too. So we could change it. So, and then if you're charmed, you're gonna attack another monster, and if you're not charmed, it'll just use the same code it used before. Oh man. I love how these functions have gotten so much more complicated. So much more complicated. Crazy how much more complicated it's gotten as we're doing these things. So, but that'll be fun. So yeah, so definitely finishing off speed, charm will be good. Oh look, we'll finally get to resurrect soon. That's gonna be an easy one, because we already resurrect the players at the end of the round. So that's going to be an easy one. And then we have some attack spells to do. If you look at... here's our list here. Essentially, well, we have this holy attack, which will be big. We're not going to do mute because yet. But we have CPR. We're going to do cure later. We'll do mute later, but we'll have charm, holy, stealing potions when someone dies. We have... Did we ever do osmos? I think I have that on there. Here, let me look at Notion real quick. Death, drain, mute, cure. No, I don't. So we've got to do that. This drain is... is monsters casting spells, mute, cure. Yeah, so we need to add one more in here called what's it called? Casting spells. Osmos? Is that how you spell it? OSMOSE. Basically, you get to steal the other spellcaster's salt. OSMOSE. Epic is last system. They're going to bring this up here. Yeah, we'll do it after mute and cure. Yeah. It doesn't remind. No, drain does. You steal hit points. So drain. You're draining hit points and adding it to your own. So it's like a cure. It's like a damaging cure spell, which is kind of cool, right? So you can. It's basically vampires, or what's your bat? What's your bat called? What I did today? Oh my goodness, I don't know if I could give you a quick 5-minute crash course summary. Golbat, thank you, Golbat. Does Golbat have drain? I don't think 5 minutes. I don't think I could do it in 5 minutes. Oceanic. We did defense. That's the one we did today. So it added a little shell around the player, and they take less damage. That's what we did today. And then we did most of the speed one, half of the speed one. Which one? The defense one, you're casting it. You're a cleric and you're casting it on someone. So you can cast it on people. Yeah. It was, it's called, in here it's called Shell. Yeah. You can actually cast it on everybody, but it's not, it's weaker that way. Leech life. Okay. Yeah. It's more the defender. That's right. The cleric doesn't really have much. The only attack spell it really has is this holy one. And it takes a long time to cast. So yeah, the cleric is the healer, basically. The wizard has more attack. I don't think we're going to do Quake. I guess we can still do Quake. We have Death, Drain, Tornado, Nuke, and Meteor. Meteor does 540 to 990 damage. I don't know what we're going to do for the effect of Meteor. That's the VFX. I don't know what I'm going to do. But it costs 99 MP and it takes 50 turns to cast. So it's mainly going to kill everything on the board. But will you ever get it off? I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Well, what's great about all this is we're doing it in a text file, so we can edit it at any time if we feel like we need to. All right, so let's. I think that's everything. Let me make sure I saved everything. I'm gonna close that just to make sure. Look here. Everything's saved there. Yeah. If you'll get it off. Of course. Y'all are so nasty.
Girl, you nasty.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you everyone for being here. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we will be back with Super Mario Wonder. I think we're about halfway through it. And then we're playing DuckTales: The Quest for Gold. I'm nervous about that game because it's so bad. You're pure, sweet, and innocent. Right. Thank you. If you can't be here live, go check out YouTube's. It's all over there on YouTube. YouTube.com/JFriesTV. Thank you, Neil, for co-hosting. Let me take a drink. Thanks, Pass, Evil Bud, Flaming Baguette for modding. And thank you, Zab, for tier 3 subbing. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
For all the subs. They get ad-free viewing on all those emotes. Thank you so much for...
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
For being
As always, you
with
don't
us
have
all the
to
time.
subscribe, but I do appreciate it. Yes. Peace and long life, Oceanic. Thanks, Lemon Square. Yeah, there was a lot of talking in that. That was complex code that we wrote today. Y'all always made me nervous if I could code while streaming. And I feel like I can. It hasn't been too bad. And it's fun because I can sit here and walk. It's actually helped me because I'm sitting here walking through the code, showing you everything and going, oh, wait, that's not going to work. Like we literally went through that and I was thinking, this doesn't work. The way I'm implementing this won't work. The way we ended up with it is the best way to do it. I'm happy. Where are we? If you want to chat between streams, go check out the Discord. Here's our raid messages. It's bedtime for me.
It's bedtime for Bonzo. That was literally a movie that starred Ronald Reagan.
All right, there's our raid messages. Let me see someone I can raid.
Who can you raid now?
Who can you raid now? I found someone. Are they doing like a... Oh, I see. All right, we're gonna go over to RPG Fancom, who is playing Super Mario RPG. Thanks everyone for being here. Thank you for helping me test out my RPG, Rise Quest. Yeah, we're making so much good progress. I'm so happy that I decided to do this. This has helped me make a lot more progress on Rise Quest by having that dedicated time to work on it. And hopefully y'all are learning stuff and it's not hurting your brain too much. But thanks everyone for being here. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. Love you all right? See you later.
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good night.